Hi, Brian Fitzpatrick here of BF Sports Analysis. This is a quick look at France's Lineout D from 5 metres out, and this is because in the 2026 Nations coming into Super Saturday, if England get a bonus point on the required points difference in Italy, Ireland may be required to get a bonus point to guarantee the championship win. So Ireland may be kicking to the corner a lot more than taking the points from penalty decisions, and this means this circumstance might happen a little more often. So potentially Ireland worked on this a bit more during the week than they normally would. So we're going to look in detail at Wales's one opportunity from a 5 metre lineout where they scored in the second minute against France in their game last week, and we're going to look at how they did that. So we're going to look at France's lineout D. So what we can see here is they really stacked the front as a maul prevention spot. So their whole front row, there are two props in the line at 1, 2/3 was a late change. They put a jumper there towards the end, and at the +1 or scrum half spot, quite close, is their hooker, who's at the front as well, and they have Dupont in the channel. What they have at the back is they have a lot of jumpers, and this occasion they don't compete, but they obviously have the option to do that. But what they want you to do is throw to their front so they can have the big fellas go against you in your maul. And for this reason, it's a bad option to take the ball at the front. What Wales do is they do take the ball at the back and they go attack the midfield. The interesting sort of part of this game is Wales's former defence coach Sean Edwards now coaches the French team, and it's interesting to maybe see what Wales do more so than anyone else, because they'll understand what Sean Edwards tried to get them to do and what weaknesses there are in his system. And the first sort of thing that's noticeable about this is playing off the top from a 5 metre line out. They've tried to get as wide as possible pretty much, given that France obviously have a 5 metre advantage from the 10 metres they're normally back from a line out. But Wales managed to make the tackle happen with Rattez, the left winger, making a tackle just inside the sticks. What Wales also tried to do to narrow up France is they tried to tie Vakatawa into that ruck. As you can see here, he's pinned down at the back circle, and that's Tompkins holding him back, so good work by him. And this leaves Wales then with the opportunity to go wide with two of that back line and their whole pack on the line outside of the ball at that stage. What's really impressive here is how quickly Tipperick and Faletau work around, despite Wales losing the gain line to be an option. And what happens here is, I think it's really crucial that they have Faletau as that tip on option, because I think for someone like Antemac, he knows he can't half commit to a tackle against a ball carrier as good as Faletau, and that's why he's really focused in on him. If the ball went out the back, as would traditionally be expected in this circumstance to Biggar, then Antemac would have time to recover. But Wales run this nice little variation, little vertical stack, and it's a blind pass for Dan Biggar to receive, but Tipperick just puts it just in front of Faletau, who's fairly static. Tipperick takes it on the outside, and it creates a two-man overlap. In a normal circumstance, Rattez slipped up leaving that ruck, so potentially it would only end up being a one-man overlap, but still pretty impressive given it's a 5 metre line out before Wales execute. In terms of other opportunities, the first one I believe is drive from the back. So as we've seen, you can't really drive at the front there, but I do think if you can drive at the back, if France did decide to compete and you thread the needle and win the ball there, there's a good percentage chance you can have a, particularly your Irish pack, that you have an opportunity to score from that. The chip behind, I think, is another option. As we might notice here, is Bouthier is in the front line fullback, and that's why Rattez was able to come up so aggressively on the inside. Now what that's left them vulnerable to is the spacing behind on the right, on either the first or second phase, where Teddy Thomas has to cover across from his 5 metre channel the whole way across to be an option to cover any kick in behind there. The other option within that is to go through 30 phases, but Ireland might need to score quick, and this is where that kick option might be very interesting. The other option is from a crossfield kick, so you play to that middle ruck there. As we could see, Dupont, that's highlighted there, scrum half, wouldn't be the tallest player. Potentially there's an opportunity to work back and put a James Ryan or Dupont or Byrne or Peter O'Mahony in the air against Dupont, and that would give a potentially a good opportunity for a quick try. Thanks guys, that's all from me. I hope you have a good weekend, enjoy the rugby, and be interested to see if any of these things happen. Cheers.